Welcome back, viewers and subscribers, to another video of the Footy Nuffies.
It's good to be back. Always good to be back.
Yeah.
Love catching up. Love talking footy, and hopefully engaging with our audience. Which we should say, thanks so much. We've just hit 40 subscribers on YouTube, which might not sound like heaps, but we're absolutely pumped with that. So thanks to everyone that's subscribing and supporting. Everyone that's commenting on the channel as well, liking the videos, that's huge. It's huge, so thank you. And if they're looking for us elsewhere, actually, where could they find us if they need us?
TikTok, Instagram, Apple Podcast, and Spotify.
Yeah, that's it. So if you prefer to just listen to it when you're out running or driving, and you don't have the time to sit down and watch it, head over and jump on one of the podcast platforms. And also, if the long format's not quite your cup of tea, we do a lot of short reels and
we do
pump it through TikTok and Instagram. Yeah, game day vlogs as well that we've done. Had the Hawks and Carlton, so head back and check those.
Yeah, we might do game day vlogs like Footy.
Yeah, we got the one of the local teams here, Geelong Amateurs, that I'm coaching and Ashley's playing with. So we're going to get some game day vlogs there. But so stay tuned for all that. But we better do a quick recap, mate, from the last episode.
Yeah.
What do we have there?
So we had in the news, Wash the Boss getting heated in the post-match.
Yeah, he was super exciting, wasn't he? Maybe fortunately for the Saints supporters, they had a good win.
He's so funny.
Yeah. No, he was good, but not so heated this week because they had a really, really good win there over Freo. Painful game.
By 61
they
points.
Just put him into submission. But anyway, that was a real rip schnorter for Saints supporters, but for everyone else, horrible. Silvani, broken hand. So injuries are starting to mount, aren't they, for some sides? We will talk to a few more of those injuries later on. But
the cat?
Cats are starting to get a few, yeah. Reece Stanley.
But then some of them are coming back.
Some of them are coming back, yeah. So
which is good for us.
Oh, it's great, yeah. You don't want to lose too many. You need to really have your team as healthy as possible right the way through. Dan McStay as well was another injury, massive one to Collingwood there. Maybe might have been the difference on Saturday night, who knows. Paul Curtis, that suspension. We're going to talk to the MRO a little bit later on. Not talk to them directly, but talk about them in this next episode. So we'll hold off on that. But yeah, Paul Curtis, that tackle. And then we sort of thought, is the tackle dead
and
in
then
footy?
We did a short.
It's almost as if they're umpiring the tackling in AFL like we have to do it for your under-9s team, mate. It's like a bear hug, and that's about it. But trying to protect people's heads, understand that. So it's interesting. What else did we have there? And Clayton Oliver was missing, and we're going to talk to him, not to him, but about him in this episode as well, because there's been a bit of news there through the week, and certainly rumours anyway. Under the pump, Ashy?
MCG communication.
Yeah, so had some communication issues there, and Brad Scott was not happy about it on Anzac Day.
Yeah, because
in the third quarter, I think.
Yeah, because Craig McKay sits out, so then he can talk to his players on the field.
Not such a big issue for someone like Craig McKay or Sam Mitchell.
Brad Scott can just come out and talk to his players. Yeah,
that's true. Maybe the other thing to keep in mind as well for Craig McRae, he's probably got a couple of assistants, say, that would have been up in the coach's box, and they then can't relay messages, so that would make it challenging. But look, as far as I'm aware, it's been rectified. Under the pump as well, we had Geelong last week because we felt as if they dropped a couple of games that they really needed to win, and they have a really challenging month of footy, and we are going to talk to them about them later on because what a game that was Saturday night.
Yeah.
And then the Crows were hit and miss, and you suggested, were they pretenders or contenders? And they had
Well, they might be contenders.
Yeah, that was a fantastic game, wasn't it? Starting to see, was it Worrell down back? Like they're starting to. I thought their defence was something where a bit like Swiss cheese. They had holes in their defence,
so there was
not too bad.
One game. Well, they lost to Geelong at the Adelaide Oval. I think that might be the only game they dropped at the Adelaide Oval.
Yeah, but otherwise they've been strong. This week they got the showdown, which is going to be a cracker of a game. And it would appear a cracker of a game that ain't going to be on free-to-air TV on Saturday night. So that is super disappointing. Now, we spoke about that a couple of weeks ago, didn't we? The free-to-air and not being on there. And shout out to Harry, the nephew, and your cousin.
Dream time at
that game should be. But, I mean, Saturday night...
That's basically similar to it.
Well, that's a marquee. Yeah, showdown is like a marquee, isn't it? But, yeah, probably not so much.
Well, but that's for Adelaide.
Yeah, for South Australia.
But if it's Victoria, massive rivalry. That's probably put it on Twitter.
Well, they didn't on Saturday night, and it was probably the game of the season. You know, Collingwood Geelong. I'm sure there's bigger rivalries in AFL, but that was probably game of the season. And how many people didn't get to see it? You know, it's sad. I know Tony Jones, old Chompers, spoke about it on Chompity Chomp on the Sunday Footy Show. They spoke about it, so they were just a couple of weeks behind us, but that's okay, isn't it? No, never mind. All right, we better press on. Just looking at the time. What else we got there? The Crows, we spoke about that, and then some of the highlights. I mean, Collingwood, albeit not much of a highlight from in this week just gone, but still side bottom. Jamie Elliott, just, man, they're on fire. Carlton, we spoke about them being a highlight. Boy, oh boy. Highlight one week, absolute garbage the next week. That'd be tough. We had the cousin Jono, who he came over Saturday there with his fiance, and they were leaving to go to dinner, and they were going to watch the game. I mean, what a different 6 days, mate. You know, Sunday we're there at the footy with Jono, and he's wrapped up and about with Carlton's win against the Cats, and then next week
it's probably wrapped until
about
Friday.
5 o'clock Saturday afternoon when the Crows got the job done, but. And very, very quickly, Gold Coast come from behind was awesome. Bulldogs, oh my gosh, knocking the lights out of the Giants, we said last week. This week, knocking the lights out of Power. Bloody jeepers, they were incredible. And we are going to talk about them a little later on. The Kangaroos, a bit more impressive, and again, probably a bit more impressive. That game was interesting. A couple of injuries for Essendon, which we'll mention later, but was that a poorer reflection of Essendon?
I don't know if
and a better reflection of Kangaroos, the result of that game? What do you reckon?
I feel like the last 2 weeks, Kangaroos have probably won.
Yeah, in terms of improvement and I probably side with you on that one. But Essendon did have some injuries, so you're sort of like, I don't know.
Essendon are a real good side now.
Hey, actually, shout out to one of our followers. We had an issue there last week trying to do some name pronunciation. And, you know, Elijah...
Salatas.
Well, I was thinking Saladas biscuits or something. Sardis.
Oh, no, that's
like a
what
silent T. You did say that. And so to the person that commented, they said, you know, the young fellow was right. So you were spot on with your name pronunciation. And then a couple of questions, but you can get rid of that one, mate. Let's move on to the latest episode. Alrighty, maybe you kick us off there, Ashley, in the news.
Stephen May and Dylan Prestia.
Allegedly in a little bit of a fracas, a little bit of a Barney rubble in Sorrento, I think it was, for a Bucks Day. Yeah, over summer. Well, allegedly they could be getting charged, so they could be in a little bit of trouble. And then Clayton Oliver is the next one there. So, missed last week. And then rumours of trade and things like that this week. So, big talk about moving on to Geelong. Geelong is really being thrown around a lot. But then you've got Max Gawn in the media this week saying that, no, it's all nothing. Nothing's going to come of it. But, what are your thoughts on that one? Would you have him down at the Cattery?
Oh, well, not now, I wouldn't. He's not in his best form.
Maybe they could turn him around and get him back to his best.
Well, Bailey Smith wasn't in his best, and he's absolutely going bananas.
Well, he's Do you
really reckon he's better than 2021 Bailey Smith or 2020?
Oh, no, for sure. He's come on significantly.
I reckon you should drop that in the comments.
He's there's a good. Hey, Ashton's just said in the comments, is Bailey Smith better than his 2021, 2022? Leave us your reports and let us know. I am saying yes. He is running. His aerobic ability at the moment. He is literally running his opponents into the ground. Maybe not Dacos, but he didn't man up. He wasn't matched up on Dacos anyway.
That was Mellon.
Exactly. Yeah. But no, his aerobic ability. Oh my gosh, the capacity. Man, that bloke just.
He got 34 touches in his corner.
Yeah. But what do you have? 700 odd metres gained.
Yeah, 749.
I'd love to see. What we didn't look was his. They got the GPS in their jumpers. Would be great to see how much distance he actually covered. It would have had to have been 15 kilometres. 15 kilometres minimum. That bloke was everywhere. But yeah, Clayton Oliver, lots of talk at the moment, and we'd have him down the Cattery. the Essendon injuries are mounting. That really hurt him that game there on Friday night.
Yeah, Thursday night.
Yeah, against the Roos. So Harrison Jones, geez, that was ugly. If you haven't seen that footage, I probably would encourage you to go watch it. That was nasty. Dislocated his ankle. So that sort of actually, that injury was like a good result, so to speak. A broken ankle would have been much worse in terms of rehab, but also time out of the game. Yeah, so not a bad result, is what I'm being led to believe. Jordan Ridley's done his hamstring, and Jake Gresham's out as well with an adductor. So they've got the two ruckmen out as well for the season.
Yeah,
these ones
Draper's
mounting.
done his Achilles, and what does Nick Bryan do?
Yeah, ACL, knees. So, poor old Essendon. So, oh golly, they're starting to really scrape the bottom of the barrel, aren't they?
They just can't push through the finals.
It's going to be hard. Might be another year without finals, but who knows? We'll wait and see. I threw in Freo as well, Hayden Young. So he did his hammy. Might have been the second time this year. He's been really battling that. He's had surgery on it, 10 to 12 weeks out. So what are we? Round 8. That's end of the season sort of thing. That's sort of like the last couple of games of the year.
18-20 round.
Yeah.
19.
Okay. Next one, actually. What have we got next there underneath?
Bontempelli and Bailey Smith.
Yeah, exchanging pleasantries.
Yeah, I know what this is. When Bailey Smith was talking after the game when the Cats won, and the Doggies won too, and they said, "Oh, how was it?" And he said, "You're not getting that
in front of 82,000 at the G."
Yeah, and then he said, "You're not getting that at Ballarat."
Yeah, that's right. He's a character, and you can't help but enjoy the theatre of it because he's not doing anything nasty, and he's just being a little cheeky and bringing. The AFL, they should be just fattening up his bank balance because he's bringing eyes to the TV. He's bringing people. He's putting bums in seats. Like he's a bit of theatre. People are loving it. And then Bontempelli returned serve on Sunday morning on Channel 7. And he said, it's glad that Bailey's still thinking about us. And so that's setting up for a massive... Is it round 11 down at the Cattery on Thursday night?
Setting up for a massive game.
That's going to be huge, isn't it? How good is that going to be? We will not miss that one. We'll do a game day vlog and we'll interview some people as well before the game, some fans, and that's going to be huge. So we're looking forward to that. But we said this a couple of weeks ago on the show as well, didn't we? A bit of theatre, a bit of character in the game is a good thing. Everyone seems to want to just stamp out turn these AFL players into robots. But I love that this is, just ongoing. And even Nick Watson, I don't have it in the show notes here, but Nick Watson turned to the Richmond Cheer squad
and he said, "Look at that."
Yeah,
because I was smashing.
Yeah, he was telling him to have a look at the scoreboard, wasn't he? But it's good, if you're a supporter and you're going to give it out to these blokes, well, you've got to be able to cop it and take it back when they turn around and give you it back. I love it. The score review technology is in the news. We got on the end of a good one there in the dying minutes of that game against the Pies. Mark Blixabs.
Yeah.
He was pretty confident he touched it. The goal umpire, albeit may have been a little persuaded by the boundary umpire who said, "No, I saw him touch it." So the soft call was a point, and then the vision was inconclusive, wasn't it, to turn it over? So it was a point that was awarded the soft call umpire's decision. It's interesting.
I reckon the thumb fit that.
Yeah. Hey, we did, didn't we? We thought it was you get the wink on the... Oh, you can get the wink? No. Look, we thought it was, but we're biased Cats Nuffies, so... But, I was listening to some people and they were saying, gosh, why are we... It's a game that probably generates billions of dollars, or whatever it might... Maybe it's not $1 billion, but... Actually, it is $1 billion, revenue. The TV rights are over $1 billion. But it's like we're recording it. I mean, what have we got, an iPhone 13 or something? It's like they're doing that goal line reviews on like an iPhone 5 or something, or a Nokia 3315. I don't even think they had a camera back in the day. It's so blurry and anyway, So the score review system is a big hot topic at the moment. And the last one there for In the News, and it's looking ahead to this week, which we will do a round preview later on in the week. Collingwood
I know,
resting some of their older stars because short turnaround, 5-day turnaround.
Yeah, and they have to go to Perth
flying
too.
over Perth, yeah.
They'll probably want to rest him, so then if they drop to this game, they won't too much worry.
No.
Because then they just hope Brisbane drop it, so then then they'll be out with Brisbane, but then next week they'll bring them back in because they probably don't want them to fly to Perth. They're older guys
and risk an injury.
Yeah.
I suppose as you get older, the injuries take longer to recover, don't they?
Yeah, and then next week who they play, they're just going to be a bit more tired.
Yeah, well, that too. So that'll be interesting. I don't know who I'm going to tip this week. I'll have to wait till it gets a bit closer, but for that one particular game.
Well, they could go 6-3, and if the Cats beat the Giants, they go 6-3. And then what's the teams could be catching up to a Pies?
Yeah, exactly. If you drop another one, it just brings you back to the main group again, doesn't it? The peloton in the cycling world.
Yeah, but the Brisbane then.
Oh, they're a game clear now.
I know, because Brisbane will be saying thanks to the Cats because the Cats have got them
they might
to that
be.
spot.
Old Fagan might be saying thanks to the Pussycats. Under the pump this week, Ashy?
Fremantle.
Oh man, they hit and miss. 4-4 now,
I know.
and they got the Pies, albeit on their home track, but I'm not confident.
They still might win. Then they have the Giants,
which is away. Power at home. I mean, after seeing the Power against the Dogs, I'm sure they probably don't need to worry about that. And then the Suns away. Regardless, that's a tough month of footy.
Well, if they go 2-2 on that, they're 6-6. And then what's of teams?
6-6.
But then what's of teams could be already 6-3 at this stage?
Yeah, you're right. At 6-6 pegs, you're right back into the, into the middle. But I suppose 6-6 isn't too bad. I'm more worried about them. Well, I'm not really worried about them, but I'm thinking they could be as bad as maybe that next month of footy, 3-1.
No, what?
I mean, 1-3. Win the one against Power at home, but those other three lose them. But
imagine if they lose all 4.
And that is a very big possibility if the Power can find some form. But I don't know, the Dockers, their list isn't that bad, is it?
Just Tracy.
It's not that bad. I don't know what's going on there. They're all too nice.
I miss.
Yeah. Bolton.
Yeah, Bolton.
Brayshaw.
Yeah.
Sarong.
Yeah.
And even their defence, Luke Ryan and
Alex Pearce.
Yeah, it's a nice. I don't know. It's got me stumped. Next one is Power. Now they're up and down too, 4-4. They had their pants pulled down on the weekend. 90 points. The Dogs are a great outfit, and we're going to talk about them in our highlights. They're a great outfit. I'm really surprised by them.
Home deck, bro. But still, you would have thought Power would have showed an absolute cracker game.
Yeah, gosh.
At least if they pegged it back 50 points, not 90. That's horrible.
Yeah, 40, 50 points. I mean, even that's still a fair old drubbing. But you go, okay, well, right, let's back to the drawing board. I think they might have the sack Ken Hinkley coach up again. So down at Alberton, down in Port Adelaide. I'm not sure, but
man, who are they playing next week then? Yeah.
Well, they're next month. So.
Oh yeah, the Cats at Adelaide.
They did a great number, the Power, on Hawks and Swans. The Swans, which was away, which I thought was impressive. Hawks on their home deck, great. But then the next month they got the Crows, the Cats at home, Freo away, and Giants away.
So the Crows away.
Crows in Adelaide. I mean, that's a neutral venue for both of them. But that ain't going to be easy. And then the Cats. I mean,
that's anybody's game.
The Cats play Adelaide over really well. I'm not suggesting the Cats are going to win that one, but it's going to be a great contest.
That's anybody's game.
Oh, for sure. I hope we knock them off. It's lovely beating the Power, but they probably say it's lovely beating the
but then if they lose to the Crows, well, that Zach Hinkley's son is going to still be up.
Oh, they'll have it up. Oh, yeah, gosh, they'll have it up for sure.
Then if they lose to the Cats, they'll start to put 2 around and... And if they don't make finals, they might do a big one.
Well, they won't need to worry about it by then because they're changing the coaches at the end of the season.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it Josh
Carr? That's right. Yeah. He used to play for him, so. And next on there, Ashy, the Giants, 4-4. interesting. I thought they would have knocked Sydney off. I tipped them against Sydney on the
Me
weekend.
too.
And they're coming down to the Cattery this week, which I should be, or maybe you're confident. Are you confident against the Giants? I'm going to have a stab at why. Tell me if I'm wrong. Are you not confident against the Giants down at Kardinia Park because they've knocked us off the last couple of times there? Yeah, you and I both, absolutely. We went to that one last year. They've had the wood on us, haven't they, down at the Cattery? So they may turn it around, but I'm putting them under the pump because hopefully we knock them off. But then they've got Freo at home, which they should win. But then the Blues away. Now the Blues are hit and miss. We said that earlier, but
home Tigers.
But the Blues may get the Giants in Melbourne, and then home against the Tigers. That's an interesting one. But still got Josh Kelly and Canelio. They missed on the weekend. Anyway, it'll be interesting. I don't know. I'm just a little dubious on the Giants. A little dubious because, said here, they lost to the Hawks, they lost to the Crows, and they lost to the Dogs. Now, I'm anticipating that those three sides that they've lost to are going to play finals this year.
Hawks, Dogs, and
Crows. Crows will be iffy.
Who was the last one?
Oh, I don't know who the last one was, but the Swans. The Swans on the weekend. Yeah, I don't know if the Swans are going to play finals. They might, but so they've lost to those three sides that you go, okay, these guys are all going to play finals. So then, maybe that's not a good sign if you beat up on the weaker sides, but then you lose to the good sides, and you want to be a good side.
But then if you make finals, well, you obviously know you're probably going to lose.
Yeah, when you come up against them.
Because then when you're playing them throughout the season, you're not.
Yeah, you're just making up the numbers, aren't you?
So you got to beat them throughout the season, so when you got hope, or come close, and then you still have hope for next time.
Yeah. And now, with all that said, we both could have, you're here as well, we both could have just put our foot into it. And now they'll come out and knock the Cats off on Sunday. Hopefully we haven't put our foot into it. And the last one actually was the score review and umpiring. So we spoke about the score review up there a little higher, or a little earlier in the episode. But the umpiring, some questionable decisions. They did come out there. We got on the end of it. I suppose you'd say looked after, perhaps, although...
But they were probably there most of them.
Well, the AFL come out there and
said... and Bobby.
Yeah, the AFL come out there on Sunday or Monday and said, no, we've cleared that. We're happy with that decision. It was tripping. So, obviously, if you don't support Geelong, you're going to say that's rubbish. But yeah, I don't know, the umpiring just continues to be a bit of an issue this year. Some big decisions are maybe being missed or being paid that shouldn't be paid, either way. But, obviously go as far back as Gold Coast and the Crows there with that decision against Riley Thilthorpe that wasn't paid and, probably decided the game.
And then, Collingwood dropped what they should have won.
Well, drop what they should have won against the Cats. Yeah, I mean, look, and they may have had a couple of plays out as well, maybe, off the top of my head.
But Geelong had a few bad ones.
Yeah, we had, and we still do this week, so I believe we're up against it this week, personal opinion. But, but they probably should have won that one. But anyway, they won't be any worse off from it. 17 points down, 2 minutes 20 or something to go, and they put themselves in a position to win the game. That's phenomenal.
After the time.
Phenomenal. Yep, that's awesome.
But just Geelong had too much of a lead, sadly for them.
Well, yeah, maybe, but if Chris Geelong kicks that goal, they win. Yeah, so it's not too much of a lead, they win. But Geelong came back by 4 goals down though. Yeah, earlier on in the third, yeah. No, it was. Because we're talking about it, let's move on to the highlights. And the first one is there, the Cats and Pies. I mean, yeah, being a Cats Nuffie, thrilled, absolutely over the moon. Especially when audience, viewers, subscribers, if you are at home or if you're at the game, but you're heading along or you're sitting at home watching it, thinking, I'm not confident, but it's me team. I'm going to sit there and watch it. And that's sort of how I approached it Saturday night. Sort of thought, I'm just watching it because, we watch it together, a bit of father-son time. But when they come out, like even in the first quarter when they got up and when it was sort of neck and neck through the second, I was like, at least they're having a fair dinkum cracky. It was awesome. And then obviously the result. was wonderful, wasn't it? It was a nice result. Geez, don't you wake up Sunday or the next day feeling grouse?
Yeah.
If your team's had a win, and there's literally nothing us as supporters do, is it? It's not like they can hear us yelling through the TV or they can hear us. I mean, if you're at the ground, yeah, they can hear the collective sound. It's not like they can hear your actual comment of support or anything. So you're not really doing anything. But, geez, it's such a nice feeling. Anyway, that's funny. But put there as well, Dangerfield, just the bloke's 34, 35 years old. He's a raging bull. He's a credit to Geelong and the medical staff and coaching staff. The way they're managing his minutes at the moment, and predominantly down forward, unbelievable. It's working, isn't it? But it is it's interesting to watch Jeremy Cameron, Shannon Neal, and Ollie Henry. It's a different dynamic there with Dangerfield down in that forward line.
It used to be like Tom Hawkins, Ollie Henry, Ollie Cameron.
They all sort of got out of each other's way.
But then Neil wasn't there, though.
Yeah, that's true too.
So Neil and Danger were
it's just a new
aspect to it.
Yeah, it's a new dynamic for him, but Dangerfield, he just hits the ball so hard.
Yeah, they're handling it well, though, Geelong.
Yeah.
But we sort of want him in the middle when we're down, when we really need him and we're down by what?
If we're getting killed in the stoppages, you want someone like him around the stoppages, don't you?
Yeah, well, if we're down by like 4 or 5 points with 30-odd seconds to go, you want him to bring the ball down.
Yeah.
So we have another chance.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, awesome. And then I threw in there Oshin Mullen as well. He kept Dacos to
28.
3, 4 or 5 disposals in the last quarter. I think it was 4. I read it was 4 anyway. 5, you reckon?
5 in the first and 5 in the last.
I think Oshin had 7-ish disposals in the last quarter.
No, 7-ish.
It was 6, but he had a clearance. He had he actually was quite effective, but mostly just stopping one of their main players. I mean, Dacos had a phenomenal second quarter. I think he had like 14 disposals or something. He still had a reasonable game, but Oshin did a mighty, mighty job in that last quarter when the game was on the line. So hats off to you, Oshin, because I'm on a couple of a Geelong Facebook page and fair dinkum that some of the supporters just dead set get stuck into Oshin Mullen. It's pretty sad. But anyway, that's what some people do. What's next there, Ash?
Dogs, they're on a roll.
Yeah, still missing like your Sam Darcy's. I mean, Jamara, probably a lost case this year, but they're missing some key players, and they're frightening.
Even Cody Waitman.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, there's another one. Yeah, they're frightening good, aren't they?
I know. Do they have Norton though?
Yeah, he's there. Yeah. What is their limit this year? Like, what's their ceiling? Can they win the flag? If you, it's round 8. It's still early. You don't win flags in May. But if you said there's 4 teams that absolutely can win it, are they in there or not yet?
I reckon not just yet.
Not just yet. All right. Well, we'll have to let us know in the comments.
I feel like they need to be one of them teams that can beat Collingwood.
Collingwood. Yeah, maybe. Let us know in the comments. Do you think are the Dogs there? Have you got them that their ceiling this year, the max that they can reach a flag? Like, you might look at Carlton and say their ceiling for me this year is a semi-final, or say it about Geelong, whoever, or you say West Coast, their ceiling's literally like they can only win 2 games this year, if that. But Dogs' ceiling, is it a premiership? I'm almost there. I'm almost there for them. Prelim? Okay. Well, they are scary good. The Swans, Ashy, that was a must win, really. Their season is in trouble. And that was Dean Cox's best win as a coach.
Really?
For sure. Well, their season's on the line, and they were playing against a good outfit. An outfit that probably had a couple of key players out, or influential players. But what they did was unbelievable. On their home track, I don't want to try and... Yeah, sort of both. I mean, it's more Sydney's but it was in their home state. But I don't want to diminish the value of that win and say it was on their home track and Giants... I am saying that,
Giants
but...
it's like the Sydney track clash. So it's a massive win for them.
Yeah, it's still a massive win.
Because Because they're both like a Sydney team, right?
Yeah. All right, and then Brizzy. Well, they just keep rolling on, and now they're a game clear. So,
yeah, so that's why they should be saying thanks to the Cats.
Brizzy, thanks to the Cats, please. Maybe a social media post to say thanks down south, guys. You helped us leapfrog everyone into top position, and a game clear now.
I know.
Their ceiling's a premiership. Gosh, I don't have to ask that question.
Maybe you do.
All right, here's a question for the audience. What is Brisbane's chink in their armour? Is there a chink in their armour? I mean, I need to let Chris Scott know. I've got to get on the phone to him and say, Scotty, the audience has spoken. What's the chink in their armour? Their defence is rock solid. Midfield's elite. I thought the forwards was their chink, but they're performing well. Like I've been sceptical on Hipwood but I mean Logan Morris, like the bloke's into his second or third season. He's on fire. So that one's out to the audience as well. A couple of questions for you. Everyone's getting some homework on this episode. Drop us a comment. What is the chink in Brisbane's armour? Because I need to let Chris Scott know. And the last one on the highlights, Ash, Zach Merritt. If he's not there, was it Friday night against the Roos? If he ain't,
no, Thursday.
Thursday. If he ain't there, they don't win. Really? I'm putting that on the record. 35 touches, and 35 is a big number, but it's not just he had 35. That's why they won. He put himself into positions on the ground to have the most impact and influence in the late stages of the game, throughout the whole game, but in the late stages of the game when North were pressing. North had a shot on goal with 70 seconds on the clock, and the poor, I think a young fella, I think it was his debut, I think he must have lost track of time, and then they said play on and under the pressure. But Essendon don't win that game without Zach. I mean, he's putting that team on his shoulders. The bloke is going to have a crook back. Can he get a couple of extra rounds in the physio room this week? A couple of extra massages on those shoulders? Because he's carrying that side. And he needs it. He needs a bit of baby oil rubbed into the shoulders. Lots of it. Alrighty, Ashy, we are pressing. Yeah, that's just over 30 minutes. Questions, Ashy? So, I might take the first one, and then I'm going to give you the second one. But the first one...
But who's it from, do you know?
I don't know who it's from, but I'm going to answer the first one. Adjusting the MRO during the year, yes or no? So, I'm saying yes. The reason I'm thinking is because if you run a business, there is no reason why, if you identify something that needs to be changed, you wouldn't wait till the end of the year. You'd change it. Like you're at school. If there's an issue at school, the teachers won't wait until the end of the year to address it. They're going to address it there and then, aren't they? The AFL has come out and suggested, look, we can take a look at it. We're going to do a full review of the MRO at the end of the season. Meanwhile, someone like Paul Curtis gets rubbed out for 3 weeks tackling someone.
And then what if it's not even rubbed out? And what if they look at it at the end of the season and it's not even there?
That's right. Or they suggest, okay, yep, now we're just going to make that 1 week. Because he was actually just trying to tackle and it was just an action of footy that resulted in the injury, which is very unfortunate. But it's just an action of footy, it's a tackle. So, yeah, so if at the end of the season they say, oh, no, okay, yeah, we've had a look, we've reviewed, this is now 1 week.
But then
Clarko ain't going to be happy. North supporters ain't going to be happy.
Then he's having his 3 weeks. That means he doesn't have a 4.
No, they won't give any more at the end of the season. But what it'll mean is next year, perhaps, this is all we're just assuming here. We're not. But next year, all of a sudden, that decision that Paul Curtis got 3 weeks, next year it's only going to be 1 week.
Okay.
So, no, I'm just saying maybe. Maybe that's what, because they're going to do a full-scale review of it, the AFL, and they may come back and say, yep, we've now decided that a tackle that is considered a fair tackle but ends in a significant injury, such as a concussion, we're only going to give that person 1 week. Or 12 days perhaps, same as a concussion protocol. So you get 12 days and so does the person who got injured. They may not do that. They may do that. What I'm saying is, if they do that, but they bring it in at the end of the year, that means someone like Paul Curtis. It means, I don't know. There's been a few that have happened to it this year. There might be a few more throughout the rest of the year. Gosh, it could happen to a Geelong player in the qualifying final, and then they get 3 weeks. So then, if we make it to the grand final, they miss the grand final. It's a big thing. What I'm trying to suggest is, yes, AFL, get in there. If you want to change it now.
Well, obviously, the Roos probably aren't going to make finals this year.
No, it's not good. No, I understand that, but alrighty, let's move on.
But if they were, well, it's going to be a big thing for them.
Yeah, for everyone, but we'll move on. This one is for you, Ashy, and it's the last question, and then we're going to wrap this up because it's been going. This has been our longest episode, so if you've stuck around, thank you very much. Ashy, contested marks. We've seen this the last couple of weeks. Against these players. Brody Mychek and Charlie Curnow are incredible marks of the football. Tell me, who are you backing for a contested mark? Say if they're one-on-one, like we do at footy training. You know, you pair up something. If you've got Brody Mychek and Charlie Curnow one-on-one, who's marking the footy?
I can Brody Mychek.
He was huge Saturday night.
Uh-oh.
And against, like, he had Sam DeConing and Connor O'Sullivan, but he was a monster. I'd probably agree with you, watching him the way he was. I mean, Charlie is a superstar as well. Yeah. But anyway, I think we wrap it up. It's getting late. Now, we didn't say at the top of the episode, but please, if you haven't already, it'd be great if you could subscribe to our channel. We'll pop a link in the bottom below. And also, if you do enjoy our content, it'd be great to like our videos, share it with your friends and family. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm and whatever else, and TikTok and wherever else you can find us. It really helps if you can like and share and comment. I think that's about it. Do you reckon? We might come back later in the week.
Pressing on to 40 minutes.
40 minutes. Hope you stuck around. Alrighty, guys. Until next video.
Which will be probably 2 or 1 day.
Maybe. Thanks for sticking around, guys.